What is up, you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video. Now, as a customer, I can admit that I like to buy like 14 items of clothing for like $100, but then I'm also that person that will spend like an arm and a leg on a pair of shoes and then contemplate my life for the rest of the year. It just be like that sometimes. With that being said, people are willing to spend their money and haunted items just rake it in. These are the top 10 most expensive haunted items. And in case I sound weird, you guys, I'm not feeling that well today. I need my inhaler. Breath is not coming easy today. Starting us off with number 10 is the Psycho Pot. Sounds anticlimactic, I know, but believe me, it is anything but. Now, this old dingy looking metal pot that doesn't look like much actually belonged to the infamously horrible serial killer Ed Gein, aka the Butcher of Plainfield. Now, during the 50s, Ed went on a murderous rampage, not just killing his victims, but skinning up their cut up body parts and then turning them into furniture and clothes. Like, how screwed up is that? Who even does that? Now, the pot in question was actually where he kept all the body parts he cut up, and you'd wonder who would want to even buy that, but a lot of people are into that. I think it's like murder memorabilia. It has a name, I don't know what it is. Now, either way, the real pot was being used as a flower pot by its oblivious owner before being sold to Zach Bagans for $2,800. All for a dingy little metal pot with human remains. Great. Coming in at number 9 is the Annabelle Replica. Now, horror movie buffs and anyone with internet really would have heard of the infamous cursed doll Annabelle. She was a fully authentic haunted doll whose actions inspired the movies The Conjuring and of course Annabelle itself. Like, the doll has movies named after her, and here I am eating ramen at home using someone else's Netflix subscription. Either way, now the real Annabelle is currently on display at the Warrens Occult Museum and is not for sale. However, there's a replica of her being sold on eBay. The replica, if anything, is scarier than the original doll herself, and you just wouldn't want her in your home under any circumstances. Yet, the doll is on sale for $2,500 in case anybody wants her. Hope none of you do. At number 8, we have the SCHWEPPE Mansion. Located on Mayflower Road in Lake Forest, this isolated mansion legit looks like the Gatsby's house. I'm not even kidding you, it's very, very nice, very bougie. Now, the 24,500 square foot home has 15 bathrooms, 10 bedrooms, and 400 feet of beachfront to roam around on. It was bought by Chicago socialites Laura Shedd and Charles H. Schweppe back in the day, but their fate was shrouded with darkness. The couple committed suicide and left the house empty for 50 years, and it's not like people didn't want the house, they definitely did. But rumors of the couple's ghost roaming the halls of the mansion left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. However, it's still currently on the market for $12 million, so if you have that, just, as pocket change, and you're into ghosts, go right ahead. Filling at number 7 slot is the Ghost Town. Now, I couldn't find a lot of information about this ghost town, but the 250-acre ghost town is located in Uptop, Colorado. A pair of sisters bought the entire town back in 2000 in hopes of restoring it and bringing some life back to it, but their dreams were never realized. Now, there were just too many reports of seeing ghosts, floating orbs of light, and hearing noises when no one was around. Towards the end, they just couldn't get anyone to move out there, so the entire haunted ghost town went up for sale for $2 million. Which is actually not that much for a whole town. That's not that much. I may have to move some things around, put some things in my checkings account to buy this haunted town. Now at number 6 is Diana. Now, Diana is a haunted porcelain doll that caused a lot of problems for her previous owner. According to her seller on eBay, ever since she acquired the doll, her neighbors in the area started seeing phantom children just running around her garden and her swings moving on their own. Apparently, the doll is haunted by the spirit of a 20-year-old woman also called Diana. The doll is obsessed with moving jewelry around the house and was sold for a whopping $1,250. Who is buying things this expensive when they're haunted? I don't get it. Coming in at number 5 is the Anguished Man, which is a painting in case you didn't know. Now, the painter of this piece is unknown, but it's meant to be one of the most cursed paintings in the world. It's said that he mixed his own blood into the painting, and soon after finishing it, he committed suicide. Somehow, the painting got into the possession of Sean Robinson's grandmother, who stowed it away claiming it was evil. When she died and Sean inherited it, he soon backed her statement. After he hung it up in his bedroom, his whole family started hearing crying and whispering late at night and seeing the appearance of a shadowy figure. Now, I'm assuming the crying and whispering or the figure is the artist himself, just wallowing in sorrow for eternity. I really don't know, I couldn't tell you the backstory even if I wanted to. Either way, when it was for sale, it was going for $1,500, but now no one even knows where it is or who has it. which is also a bit sus in and of itself. At number 4 is Ozzie Nelson's house. Now before researching this house, I had never heard of the adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, but you can't even blame me since it ran from the 50s to the 60s and I wasn't even a sperm at that point. I wasn't even an idea at that point. Either way, the show depicted America's ideal fantasy couple and their life, and this home was the backdrop of the show. Ozzie and Harriet Nelson, the couple on the show, lived in the 5,813 square foot home for over 25 years. Multiple owners that have come after them have reported actually seeing Ozzie's ghost around the house, still doing things he normally did. They would hear footsteps all over the house, and the bath would always randomly start running despite having no plumbing problem. The house was then put on the market for $5.25 million. Damn it, I'm gonna have to move some more things around in my checkings account to afford this one, i.e. my entire house. Just move into my checkings, really. Filling our number 3 slot is Poveglia Island. Yes, the whole island is haunted, and yes, the whole thing was for sale. Located between Venice and Lido, by 1776 the island was used as a quarantine area for people suffering from the plague and other diseases, and that lasted more than a century. It was then transformed into a mental hospital in 1922, where a doctor used to experiment on his patients with crude lobotomies, which is just inhumane as hell. Either way, after experimenting on his patients for years, he committed suicide by jumping from the hospital tower, since he had apparently gone mad from being haunted by so many ghosts. And I can definitely see why a bunch of patients would be angry with him. Like, I can imagine the ghosts of all those dead people are very much still around and still hate him. However, in 2014 the island was sold to Italian businessman Luigi Brugnaro for $672,000, but then it said he invested more than $16 million on top of that to renovate the building. Which, if we do the math, is a lot of bloody money. And just not enough for me to move into my checkings account, so definitely not buying this island. However, the mansion is still on my list. Now at number 2 is the van. Kids, and I know you're watching this, never ever ever get into a stranger's van. I know that's just something funny you say now, like, oh, the creepy guy in the van offering candy, but it's so legitimately true. Don't do it. Either way, the van in question right now used to belong to Dr. Jack Kovikian and was dubbed the Death Bus. Dr. Jack, an American pathologist and euthanasia proponent, actively advocated how people have the right to die by physician-assisted suicide. And he felt like he wasn't being heard enough, so he took matters into his own hands, and I guess in his own van. Inside the Death Bus, Dr. Jack performed over 130 assisted suicides, so I mean the van has seen a lot. And again, it was good old Zach Bagans who bought it for $32,500. This man has a lot of money to buy many haunted things. And finally, at number 1 is the Black ORLOV. The story behind this one is juicy as hell, but I've also covered it on the channel before, just throwing it out there in case you have seen that video. Now, weighing in at 67.5 carats, this jewel is said to have initially been the eye of an idol of the god Brahma at a shrine near Pondicherry. It was then stolen by a monk, which is said to have kickstarted its whole curse. In 1932, a diamond dealer took the gem to the US and soon after committed suicide by jumping off a skyscraper. It later belonged to 2 Russian princesses, Nadia Orlov and Leonila Baryantinsky, both of whom also committed suicide by jumping to their death in the 40s. After the string of tragedies attached to it, Charles F. Winston cut the stone into 3 pieces in an attempt to break the curse. But it gets even shadier. Diamond scholar Ian Balfour said there's no evidence of any black diamonds found in India or even a Russian princess named Nadia Orlov. Now, regardless of all the he says, she says, the diamond was auctioned off in 2006 for $352,000, but say if it was auctioned off again now, it'd be worth around $1 million. And that is it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you'd buy on the list if you absolutely had to. I'm sorry again if it felt like I was breathing like Darth Vader in this video. I really do need my inhaler right now. Either way, let me know what you thought in the comments below. As always, I'm your host Eamon Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. There's a replica of her being. However, there's a replica. Why can I not? They couldn't get anyone to move in, so that. They couldn't get anyone to move in, and so the entire but you never know. Now, before researching this house, I'd never heard of the adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, but you can't even blame me since it ran from the 50s to the 60s. However, in 2014 the island was sold to Italian businessman Luigi Brugnaro for Either way, the van in question right now used to belong to Dr. Jack Kovikian. Dr. Jack, an American pathologist and euthanasia proponent. Dr. Jack, an American pathologist and euthanasia proponent, Dr. Jack, an American pathologist and euthanasia proponent. Dr. Jack, an American pathologist and euthanasia proponent. Oh my god! Dr. Jack, an American pathologist and euthanasia proponent.